We just recently released a spec commercial for Bumble. This was Valentine's Day themed. I wanted to share some lighting breakdowns on a couple of our scenes. I'm Nicole, the cinematographer and EP for this project. Over the last couple years, I've really tried to increase my knowledge and my skill set around lighting. These are a couple of the accounts that I have followed and have tried to learn a little bit from them. Over the entire span of my career, I have transitioned from so many different roles, primarily from videographer to cinematographer. There are a ton of differences between these two roles, but the main one that I have tried to focus on is lighting. I worked really closely with Andre, our gaffer, to try to curate similar looks and feels throughout the entire commercial. The location scout was super key because we actually ended up making a previs through Cadridge. I actually went shot by shot from Sid's storyboard, our director, and this allowed me to actually map out some of the lighting and some of the tones and levels that I wanted within each shot. This was our establishing shot, so I wanted to make sure that there was a lot of little sparkles and pockets of light throughout that whole scene. Because there were so many windows in this kitchen, we were gonna have to shoot this in the evening so that we wouldn't have to black out, make a tent where all of the windows would be covered and we could blast light through it. We just waited for the evening and we did a lot of our living room shots, which did not have as many windows at the beginning of the day. So this shot was actually shot on the second half of our day. Compared to our previs, we did a pretty similar job. One thing that I really wanted to play with were practical lights outside of the window to get that magical sparkly look. So all of these that you can see, these are all just actually string lights that I bought from Walmart. They're my personal string lights that I have on my balcony. So I just wanted to make sure that there was some sparkles in the background, get some orbs in there. I definitely wanted a practical lamp here just to give some separation between our talent and the wall. What's keying her right now is the F22, which stayed true to the previs. So all of this light that you see on her face here, that is all from the F22. One thing that we saw in the location scout was actually this right here. This is actually the same material as this backsplash. So what we asked art department to do, which they so amazingly found, this perfect yellow vinyl kind of peel and stick wallpaper to go on the back of this so that we would eliminate a lot of the reflections, because you see a lot of reflections in this area right here on the backsplash, and we just wanted to avoid as much of that as possible. This yellow background, this really helped introduce some color into the space as well, because the kitchen is very white, which is great, but for, you know, something punchy, we wanted to introduce some more color. So in this scenario, we also had MCs here and here. You can see some little glowing lights behind these shelves. This was also to create some pockets of light and then to get general levels in the room, which honestly, because this is supposed to be shot in the evening, this to me is a little bit dark on this side. Oops. This to me is a little bit dark. I think I would have wanted to push a little bit of level into that and maybe make it a little bit warmer inside to contrast with the blue exterior. What we used was a aperture spotlight mount and we shone it into the ceiling. And so this created ambient levels throughout the whole thing. This reflection here I could do without, but that is mainly from this F22 that's keying our main talent here. And it's pretty, I think it's pretty accurate to what our original previs looked. I definitely did the two MCs. I wanted the practical. Yeah, we nailed this shot. The only thing that was different was that on the scout, we were thinking that we would put shears where those windows are, but we ended up not doing that. And it ended up working out perfectly. Okay, our next shot is this one. Again, our hero, Becca Willow. She's a phenomenal actress, so please, if you are looking to hire anybody, she is your gal. She'll give you all kinds of personality and just is so fun and genuine and down to earth, so absolutely loved working with her. So here, all of this that you see on her face, this is all from a top-down F22. So it's another, again, this fabulous panel light coming from above. This light you see here is a practical lamp. So this is just giving some more pockets of light in the background. This that you see here is actually a spotlight shone on a gold reflector, and that's where we're getting all of this beautiful hair light here. I think it's a little bit strong, but to be honest, I don't really care because that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted something, even here you can see it on her fingers there. It just gives it a little bit more magic. You just wanted it to feel more inviting and like welcoming. We also wanted to catch some like glimmers on the glasses here. So this intense kind of beam of light coming through this side is hitting the back of her and just making her really pop from the background. And I absolutely loved it. I think that was a really good choice. Again, for pretty much all of these shots, we had a aperture 600, I believe, on a spotlight projector up into the ceiling, which you can see here. Honestly, I didn't have a crazy lighting plan for that, but I think we made it work. So very happy with how that turned out. The gold reflection was actually, I think, more of an accident as well. It was, let's try this, and it worked very well, especially with her rich red hair. This was definitely in the afternoon, and so you can see here, all of these windows, we have garbage bags on them. So you can buy any black garbage bags at No Frills or the dollar store. We just taped them up, and we put the shears as well over top to try to hide any crinkliness from the garbage bags. And moving on to our final hero shot, this one was actually during one of those moments that I like to call magic moments on set. We actually wrapped pretty early. This was one of our last shots. We had time to experiment, which was very fun. We did a lot of experimenting here for placement and props and all of this. So you can see here the orbs come back into play. These are these little practical lights here, here, here. This, unfortunately, was a neighbor's light, and so we didn't exactly have control over that. If I maybe saw this was actually our last shot of the day, so I was probably gassed by this point. But what I would have done here is I would have negged this and put a black floppy outside, and then I would have extended these orbs, and I would have had more practicals glowing that are more separated, because you can see that this neighbor's light here, the orbs are very close together, and it looks a little bit, I don't know, looks a little bit messy to me. So I would redo this, and I would just neg that out and add some more brighter practicals. The next light that we introduced was the F22, handy dandy F22. Will Bink says that it's Frank's hot sauce because you put that on everything. F22 from this side. So you see a lot of the light just hitting her from the top here. You see a lot of shadow on this side, which I think is beautiful. You get a lot of shape and texture to the sweater. You also get a lot of texture in this cookie, and you also get the shadow on the floor here on the table. So once we have this key, we also obviously lit these practical candles. That was a really nice glow. It gives just the ambiance, which we really wanted to create. And to give a little splash on the background here, if the logo wasn't there, you'd probably be able to see it a little bit better. But with the spotlight mount, we basically took the little cutters, and Andre made a really nice slash of light all the way through this table to kind of separate the cookie from the backdrops and all of the props behind it. So I thought that was amazing. That was a really cool creative decision. That was, again, last minute. It was just, let's try something, and it worked. I'm curious what you guys think, though, about having these levels in the background. This wall here is really dark. This wall here is really dark too. In terms of the storyline, they're all in the living room. The kitchen lights are probably off, and it's not really an active area. So it's probably fine that the levels are a little bit low on the edges. And I'm sure that in post we did do some vignetting as well in color. Interested to see what your thoughts are. It was interesting to try to make sure the logistics made sense of which scene to actually shoot first and which scene would save us the most time. Obviously, the kitchen had a ton of windows, so that would have taken way too long to black out all of those, and the living room did not have as many, so we just kind of strategically shot and placed our shots where we didn't see the windows as much. Lighting for me is something I'm really excited to get better at, and just establishing layers. It establishes mood. There's so many ways that lighting plays a role in this commercial, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on TikTok for even more behind the scenes of this commercial spot. I just want to say, because this was a spec piece, if any of you are looking for other crew members specifically in Toronto, please go and check out the Instagram post where this commercial went live. Go ahead and hire these amazing individuals that worked on this project. If you haven't already, we also have done an entire breakdown of how we shot this spec commercial. Subscribe for more content like this if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. If you guys would have done anything differently, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking to learn and improve my skill set, so I'm super eager to see what you guys think.